Hi guys, before I get into this video, I'd just like to give you a little bit of a disclaimer. I have just bought a new camera. If some of the shots are a bit out of focus, I'm still getting used to all the settings. And also, we've been having some pretty freaky weather lately. It is mid-May and we've had hailstone, thunder showers, quite a bit of wind, so any background noise, that's what you're probably hearing, the mad weather. But there's nothing I can do about it. I can't stop the job because of the weather. You'll probably hear the metal shutters rattling about in the wind. It sometimes happens, and you may even hear the thunderstorms and the hailstone. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Welcome back to part 4 of the Jensen Interceptor convertible restoration. If you didn't watch 1, 2 and 3, I'll leave a link in the description to all those videos. But I'll just give you a quick recap anyway. I've removed the top, stripped down the frame, removed all the rust, painted the frame, made a new tack strip for the back, and now I'm ready to start doing some patterning. Now, if you remember from when I removed the top, it was a headliner, a layer of padding, and then the top. So 3 layers in total. So today I'm going to start doing all the patterning. I need to pattern the headliner, pattern the back window, because the back window is a separate piece which has the headliner integrated into that, and then I can pattern the rest of it. So first thing I need to do is put quite a lot of marks on the car. So I'll put a lot of masking tape on so I can write on the tape, because I need to work out where the centre of the vehicle is first. Check symmetry. I know the car itself isn't symmetrical. This part of the body here is higher than that part of the body on that side. But I also need to know where any seams are going to go. So the tape will be a reference to that. So that's my first job. I'm going to start to put tape on the car. There is some already on, so I'll just put some more tape over the top of that. I don't need to take this tape off. Put some more tape on so I can actually mark on that tape for the top. Same on all the balls. I'll put tape on the balls so I can mark onto those, and same on the header ball, tape on that. Once I've found centre, I'll measure everything out from that centre point. Where I'm putting any seams will be hopefully even on both sides. Now, hopefully this is symmetrical, so I don't need to pattern everything. I'll pattern the main body at the top, and the pieces on the side will be, I'll just do one side and hope that will fit the other side. It should do. Might need a little bit of tweaking, but it shouldn't be a lot. Right, to find centre, what I've done is I've put a string line from the centre of the screen to the badge at the back, which I'm assuming should be in the centre of the car, but I'm not going to take that as being definite. So I'm going to measure now from this centre line either way and see whether the frame is actually centred to the vehicle, and if I can trust that line. That's 27 and about an eighth. And that's 28 inches. So that line isn't actually in the centre of the frame. So I'm going to have to bring the line this way a little bit. $27 3/4. 27 and a half. 27 3/4. So we should have 27 5/8, I hope, both sides. 27 and 5/8, just over. Jesus. So the badge on the back isn't centered. So I eventually found centre. The rear bolt is a little bit off, I think. There's about 3/8 of an inch difference on the rear bolt to the rest. The rest are in line, and the line that I've put in, or this here that I've put on there, is in the centre of this bolt, and this bolt, but it's not in the centre of the rear bolt. It's a little bit off. Now that I've got my measurement from centre, I need to mark on where the seam goes for the top and where the seam goes for the headlining. Because the headlining is made very similar to the top. You have a centre section and you have two side pieces that come off. The side pieces won't be as big because they're on the inside, obviously. I've now got the plastic on best I can, obviously on the inside, because this is for the headlining and not for the top. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to now mark on bottom edge. Try and get this plastic to lie as flat as I can just on here. It may have to be adjusted later. I'm trying to get rid of this wrinkle here. See this diagonal wrinkle? And then here. Just trying to get rid of that. So the painted plastic is now in place, relatively wrinkle free, about as good as I'm going to get it, which is absolutely fine. There is a little bit of adjustment in the cover when I come to fit it, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. What I need to do now is to mark on the top of the frame here. So if you remember me saying that this piece here gets attached to the top of the frame here, including the headline that's sewn into it. So I need to mark the top of the frame, the bottom of the wood where it meets the body, and I should have just then one shape, and that pattern will do for both the headliner and the actual window section. Get my centre line. Now that's not a given because I'm going to fold this pattern in half and see where that centre line actually lies. Centre line again. So I've measured the back window from the one I took off, and the width of the window is 48 inches, the glass part of the window. There's obviously a little bit of a border around that, and then the zip. And the window is 18 inches high, but it starts 2 inches from the bottom. So I'm just going to mark in those roughly and just have a look at how the window's going to sit, Luke. Just going to dash that in. So that's half the window drawn in. So that seems about right. We're kind of in the ballpark with the measurements being very close to what they are on the original cover. Right, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to put it onto the bench, connect all the dots, draw this window in properly. Once I've drawn all this out, I'm going to put it back on. I will then pattern the side and pattern the rest. It's only now this side piece here and the top that needs patterning. This is the headline pattern. I'm going to make this straight on the bottom. The pattern says it's not straight, but I'll make it straight. Because I'm going to check this on the car again. Once it's all cut out, I'll check it on the car and I can always amend that line. If I make it too short, then it's harder to actually add some more patterning plastic on than it is to remove the patterning plastic. So back to the car. I'm not going to move the camera from here because I'm going to bring the other pattern here now, the pattern I've just done of the rear of the car. I'm going to sort that out and then I'll put that back on the car once I've done that. So I've now got the pattern on the bench. First thing I'm going to do is just fold it in half and see how symmetrical it is. We may be lucky, it may be perfect. I very much doubt it. Either my halfway line wasn't really halfway, or the frame is completely unsymmetrical. It's not a lot, it's probably a quarter of an inch, but I'm going to go with the halfway mark on the actual pattern. So that is halfway on the pattern. I'm going to join the dots on this side first, on the side that I drew the window onto. Pretty straight that.
Now I'm going to measure this in properly, the 2 inch to the bottom of the window. 2 inch, 2 inch. The rear window on the original counted in a little bit at the top by about 3/4 of an inch per side. Right, I'm going to get rid of the lines that I don't need for now. That is the seam line for the main top part. I need to put in where the zip's going to go. So, instead of the zip, I want to be roughly 1 inch. I'll double check that measurement. I think we're about 1.5 inches. Yeah, we'll go with 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut this out. Obviously, I'm not going to cut the window out. It makes the pattern quite unstable having a big gap in the middle. So I'm going to leave that in there. And all I'm going to do when I come to use this pattern is I'm going to put holes in spots. So on the corner, I'll put a hole where the radius starts, a few around the radius, and then a hole here and here, and then I can just mark that through the pattern onto the fabric. Now I'm going to fit this back onto the car. I'm going to pattern the side and pattern the main top. That's the patterns now done. I'm going to take these to the bench, just like I did with the other ones. Join all the dots, and then I should start cutting things out. All the pattern pieces are now sorted out, so I'm now going to cut out the headliner. I'm going to put a film on while I do all this, so chances are you'll be listening to some music. If you don't like the music, then just let me know. Not particularly this music I'm going to play, any music really. I know some of you would rather have work noises, believe it or not. I get bored of work noises and I've got to work with them all day. So that's why I'm going to put something on in the background. Just a film on Netflix. Probably something I've watched before. Or maybe not. Just because working in silence sometimes gets a little bit boring. And this kind of thing doesn't make much work noise anyway. Drawing on fabric. It's quite a quiet job. And I don't really have the time to actually do voiceovers, because that's another phase of editing stuff. I'm quite busy. I do have a family. I do have a life outside of YouTube and work. A lot of it is taken up by editing, and I don't want to take any more time up by editing by doing voiceovers. So it's just quick and easy for me to just do a little bit of a montage with some music, and you get to see what's happening, and I don't get bored out of my mind. Not to say what I'm doing is boring, it's just that I can do a lot of things with my eyes shut. Not very exciting for me, but I'll try and make it as exciting for you as possible. Or as exciting as cutting out some fabric can be. When I cut this out, obviously I've got to add extra for things like hems. There's a hem on here, an extra piece on here just for gluing purposes, and then extra on the back. So you'll see me do all that, and then when I sew it together, you'll see me do the hemming. I normally, when I put hems on, I always tape the seam down. It just makes the hem a little bit neater. Trying to do a hem by hand, sometimes you get a little bit of twist in the hem, and that's not very nice. So I'll get on with it. I'll shut up and I'll put something on, and I hope you enjoy the music that I've chose. If it's not your bag, then you can always turn the volume down, put your own music on, or just turn the volume down. But if you do like the music, tell me if you like my style of music. Some people do, some people don't. Right, I've now sewn everything together, obviously. The headline is on the car, it's not fixed. I've just put some pins in it and a few clamps just to hold it in place, make sure it's in the correct position. So this side here fits absolutely spot on. The other side, it just needs to be stretched that way just a little bit. So I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to glue probably, wouldn't say up to the middle, but not far from the middle, stretching it that way a little bit as I do it. So I'll glue this bow, and then I will staple the back part on. I'm not going to finish off around the bottom here yet. I don't actually need to, because I can get to most of these things at any point until I put the top on. I'm just going to use a spray glue out of a tin. It doesn't actually matter for something like this. The way it's assembled, it can't really come apart, because everything's keeping everything else in position.
trying to get a stitch line as straight as I can, just because it will be noticeable if it's not straight. So that should do for now on that side. Could do the same on the other side, but pulling that way, because like I said, I'm a little bit short, but there's a little bit of stretch in this fabric, so I'll be able to pull the headliner that way. Not going to cut any of this off yet. I'm going to glue this bow down first. What I will do first though is to put a little bit of string on this bow and pull that bow back, because this bow is movable. I don't want it to move too much. That's most of that headlining on. All I've got to do now is to glue the front, and that's it. I'm going to have to partially do that from the inside. Not going to trim off the front. The front has another piece of the fabric, the black fabric, attached to that, and there's a thin metal strip that locks them both into place and hides how they join. You'll see me put that on maybe before anything else. I don't know yet. Right, so I'll let you have a quick look on the inside. You probably won't see much, but I'll do my best. So I'm going to just call that a day for now. It is probably after 7 o'clock at night now. I will continue with this in the morning, where I will be doing the padding and the back window. So hopefully by tomorrow evening I should have back window in, padding on, and hopefully at that point be cutting out the top. Oh, and one more thing, I haven't checked the headliner with the top down. Put the top down in the morning and hope everything is alright, nothing's snaggy, nothing's catching on anything, but until I put it down, I don't know. Right, now that this flap has been attached and the metal strip put back on, that is fully locked in place now on the front of the headliner. Now I could put this in place, glue it down, attach all the bits like the latches, handle, things like that, or I could put it up and leave it like this and do that later. I'm in two minds. I'll put it up for now. What I need to do next is to do the padding. So irrelevant of whether I do this now, it's not going to affect the padding. Yeah, I think I'll do the padding first. So I'm going to put the hood back up, or the roof back up. I'm going to then measure for the padding, and then I'll attach it. I've now got the webbings here, the fabric that goes underneath the padding, that's made. It has on the edges of it, along here, the same fabric as the headlining, and that's going to get flapped over. You'll see when I do it. Before I can do any of that stuff, I need to wrap the ends of these bows in the same fabric as well. We'll now do the front, so I'll pull everything tight towards the front. Glue that to the header ball. Can you hear that thunder? Had some very strange weather over the last couple of days. So that's the padding on. I'm not going to trim this front edge yet. I'll do that tomorrow, and that's when I'm going to start making the cover as well. So if you enjoyed that video, give it the old thumbs up, and hope to see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.